John, very good to see you. I have an important question. How old is too old for a Roth conversion? We know taxes are set to increase in 2026. Even though it may not feel like it, we are living in a historically low tax rate right now, of course. So let's talk through the pros and cons of a Roth conversion for someone in their 70s. The first pro, of course, if you convert your IRA to a Roth IRA, you and your beneficiaries will have tax-free withdrawals.
Yes. So, we've talked about the power of Roth conversions and tax management. So let's take a look at the pros of converting that money at tax-free. Number one, the withdrawals, like you said, are tax-free. They don't count as income tax. More importantly, if you were to die and you left that money to your beneficiaries, they have the ability to let those Roth accounts grow for 10 years before they have to have them zero balanced. And that money can compound and grow tax-free for 10 years. The other thing too, Aaron, is we always talk about IRA and 401k money being a tax time bomb. This is a way to reduce that tax time bomb against future tax rates and tax uncertainty. And you essentially give yourself control over your future tax rates.
So the next pro, no required minimum distributions, which means you'll have, again, more control over your tax liability.
Yeah, so for the sake of this video, we're just going to say your RMDs are starting at 73. If you're converting as much as possible, you're reducing that required minimum distribution. Now, the RMD only becomes an issue when you need to take additional income that does not meet the RMD table set forth by the IRS. However, that is a big issue for a lot of people, especially people with pensions. So if you start to reduce that future tax liability, that RMD, that means your RMD is going to be, the required RMD that you have to take in the future is going to be less. And what is that going to do? It's going to lessen your tax bill. And, that is a win.
So now let's move on to the cons, though. When you convert, you will pay all those taxes up front, which could mean a very big tax bill come April.
Yes, and this is where the planning becomes very important. When you make a conversion, say a conversion here in 2024, when you go to pay your taxes in April of 2025, you will owe the income tax on that Roth conversion. So you have to understand, especially since you're over 70 and you're getting Social Security and Medicare, you want to make sure that you understand your tax brackets and, more importantly, your modified adjusted gross income so you can control that tax bill that is becoming due in April. However, although we are saying that's a con, right, you have to pay your taxes. That's just a certainty. The big pro here is, while we don't like paying taxes, you understand your tax bill and you have control over what your tax bill is going to be. You can decide to convert as little or as much of your IRA account as you decide.
So now our next con, uncertainty over future tax rates. They could go higher. They could go lower. We just don't know.
They could. Aaron, I like to kind of do a reverse of what the market risk is when it comes to tax risk. We've done a lot of videos on markets being at all-time high. And what is that? That is the point of maximum financial or market risk. Well, I like to flip that table upside down when it comes to taxes. And when we are at some of the lowest tax rates in history, we are really at the highest point of tax rate risk. So we have to understand that we are well over $30 trillion in debt. We have a reckless government when it comes to spending. And, 20 years ago, the former Comptroller General Walker was talking about that taxes are going to have to double to squash a then $10 trillion debt. So yes, taxes could go lower. The question is how much lower? Maybe a couple percentage points. On the flip side, could taxes go higher? Absolutely. And we have history has shown that the highest marginal tax bracket, post World War II was 94%. And in the 70s is in the 70%. So we have a huge ceiling for tax rates rate increases.
Right. Okay, so let's break it down to brass tacks now. Let's say that I am 70 years old and I can pay that tax bill in cash right now for that conversion. At what age though? Because that would be a yes for most people. At what age does the yes become a no?
Well, age is just a number. Taxes are a harsh reality. So you're a sprightly 70-year-old. You're competing with your Scrooge business partner, the IRS. So the question is, it really depends on a bunch of things. Number one, if you're not at RMD age, up to RMD age is a definite. And if you're over 70 and a half, you can offset some of your Roth conversion tax bill with qualified charitable distributions also. So up until RMD age is a great age to convert money. Once you're at RMD age, you have to understand that you have to take your required minimum distribution first. Then you can do your Roth conversion. And, as I mentioned again, if you're in poor health or your spouse is in poor health, regardless of what age you are, that could be a good strategy to avoid the widow tax.
Mm-hmm. Well, clearly no cookie cutter answer here, John. And I know we have many, many strategic tax planning videos on YouTube and everything else. But if somebody has questions and wants to talk this through, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can visit our website at www.gosecurus.com. We have a ton of resources and past videos on various tax topics. While you're at our website, you can visit the Contact Us tab, and from there you can schedule a 20-minute complimentary phone call where we'll answer any general questions, or you can schedule a complimentary vision and clarity consultation. Or if you like doing things the old-fashioned way, give us a call at the office, 858-935-6210. Ask to speak with Emily Whale, and she will get you on my calendar.
Great. John, thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you, Erin.